Over the weekend, a post was made on the PUBG forums going over a couple issues that have cropped up since the 1.0 release of PUBG on Xbox. Issues like achievements not popping up, Xbox One X performance, the lost connection to host error that we're getting from time to time, as well as some crates that are causing some problems. So I kind of want to go over those issues and then give my overall impression of the 1.0 release thus far. So as far as the achievements are concerned, I've definitely experienced this firsthand. One of my friends has gotten a lot of the achievements, and even though I've done some of the same things that he's done so far, I still haven't gotten those achievements. For example, the achievement that you have to use a painkiller and then use a drink to go full boost. I've done that multiple times since the 1.0 release, but I still haven't gotten that achievement. And that's okay. I don't really care that much because I know that eventually that'll get fixed, and that's something that I'm going to achieve again. But there are some achievements that are much harder to get, and so that's where I can see this being a problem. But in the post, they definitely mentioned that this is a problem and they are investigating. They said shortly after the 1.0 launch, there was an error that caused many achievement uploads to be delayed. And they mentioned that the fact that they had to retroactively unlock a lot of the achievements due to the game preview stats, it kind of caused a backlog, and the new unlocked achievements are delayed. They go on to say, "We are also investigating issues with other achievements not popping at all upon completion. We appreciate everyone's patience in the matter and apologize for the inconvenience caused. We will provide an update on the issue when we have more details to share." So it looks like this isn't something as simple as a push of a button. It's kind of frustrating for a lot of players because they said that achievements would be there, but then when achievements aren't actually attainable, when you unlock them, but it actually doesn't show up for you, and it doesn't say that you did it, that kind of makes it frustrating for a player, so I can understand everyone's frustration there, especially with how big achievements are in the Xbox brand and in the Xbox culture. I can see this definitely causing a lot of frustration for players. For me, it's not that big of a deal, but it is definitely worrying that, you get all these things done. You might get one of the achievements that are very hard to get, and for some reason it didn't work, and then you're going to have to maybe do that over again. I can see where that would be a problem. Let's move on to the Xbox One X performance. This is something that I can speak personally to because I do play on the Xbox One X, and all the gameplay that you'll see here is from the Xbox One X. And yeah, I can definitely tell that there's some issues going on, but let me go ahead and give a disclaimer. I've only played Sanhok so far on this 1.0 version. I haven't even landed in Miramar and Erangel. I haven't even tried, so I don't know if there's a particular issue going on for the Xbox One X as far as like building rendering and load times in Miramar and Erangel, because I haven't personally played those maps just yet. But yeah, the big thing that I've noticed so far is that the frame rate has taken a hit on the Xbox One X. On Sanhok, when you're in a gunfight, a lot of times the frame rates are kind of staggered and it makes it difficult at times. But it's not anything as terrible as we had before. It's not as bad as it was, when the game was first coming out, or even a couple patches in. So it's definitely doable, it's definitely playable, but it's something that does need to be addressed, and it looks like they're going to take a look at this and try and fix it for us. They said the reason for this issue is that Xbox One X uses higher resolution textures and requires more graphics options to output better overall visual quality. This could be caused by lowered frame rates, especially during resource-heavy situations like gunfights. They're currently looking into different ways to fix the issues to stabilize frame rates in these situations, and they apologize for any frustration caused and hope to have more details to share soon. So this is on the community update. This isn't a patch notes video or anything like that. So this is just giving a progress report basically on the weekend to show exactly what they're working on, what they're looking forward to correcting in the next hotfix, which I imagine we'll be getting in the next few days or so. If I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong about that, but typically this is what happens. They mention some things in the community update, and then they go ahead and fix those early on in the week, that next week. So I'm hoping that some of these issues with the achievements and the performance issues that we're having on the X get resolved in the next hotfix, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now there's also a lost connection to host issue. They said the error is happening due to sessions not updating during matchmaking after multiple sessions were initiated, then canceled. For example, if a player solo queued, canceled, duo queued, then joined the game after the match was created, the error would occur. Now, I've had this occur, and I don't think I had that exact scenario that they built up. I went to queue in with my squad one time. I don't know if I backed out or, canceled the matchmaking session and then re-queued up or anything. But for sure, I did have this happen where it said connection to host was canceled, and they had to back out, and then we just relaunched and everything was perfectly fine. So it just kicks you out and it doesn't allow you to join the game. It doesn't even allow you to rejoin if you were to try and go back to the main screen and then join again. It's just as if you didn't even get into that match at all. But it's definitely something that's happened, and it's definitely something that they need to fix. Now, real quick about the Survivor and Wanderer crates. Apparently there's some Survivor and Wanderer crates disappearing from the inventory. The item IDs of these crates were changed with the 1.0 launch, which caused the issue to occur for players who purchased these crates prior to 1.0. So if you have a bunch of crates saved up and you haven't actually opened them, you might have seen some issues where these disappeared. They said they'll be deploying a fix for this sometime next week. They said, please note that players who are experiencing this issue will see 2 types of Survivor and Wanderer crates in the game, one of which are pre-1.0 crates and the other are post-1.0 crates. They are the exact same crates but with different item IDs. So good news is you'll be getting those crates back, but it might take a little bit of time. So just be patient. If you had some of those crates and they disappeared from your inventory, don't worry, they'll be back soon, hopefully for you. That was pretty much it for the community update. Some of the issues that we're experiencing and some of the issues we can look forward to being fixed in the next hotfix. But now I kind of wanted to go over my general thoughts on Sanhok and this 1.0 update. So I have to say it straight away, I love Sanhok. It's definitely my favorite map out of the 3 right now, just because there's so much action, it just makes you a better player, it seems. So I'm the type of player that if I'm not forced into some action, I'm probably going to stay on the sidelines and kind of wait for my moment and then try and take my shot if I have that ability. But with Sanhok, you're basically forced into action all the time. I've noticed from the very start when I first started playing PUBG, I'm a much better player when I'm outdoors, when I have trees for cover, rocks for cover, when I'm not stuck in a building and I have to worry about somebody rushing in, or if I have to worry about defending someone that's coming into my complex or shooting out windows. I'm just much better outdoors where I have some room to move around, kind of reposition myself, and then try and take my shot. So the fact that most of the fighting happens outdoors in Sanhok and out in the environment, it just makes it much better for me, and I feel like I'm a much better player on this map than I am in the other 2, and I'm getting better with each and every round on Sanhok. But one thing I definitely noticed about Sanhok is that it almost feels like a hot drop each time you fly down, and if not a full-on hot drop, a mini hot drop where there's 1 or 2 teams around that you have to contend with in your general area. If you want to make sure that you're alone, especially if you're playing teams, you're going to want to either jump out of the plane right away and try and find a small complex of buildings. Don't go to a major city or anything, and then you'll probably be safe. You might be able to see exactly where teams are landing and then kind of adjust your flight path to decide where to go so you can loot up and then get geared up for fights. Or you'll have to fly to the very furthest place you can possibly get to, and basically in this map with any flight path you can get to anywhere you want. So if you have a favorite spot, you can get to wherever you want to go pretty much every time. But as far as being safe on the initial landing, you're going to want to try and fly to a smaller complex. At most, you'll probably have to fight one other team if you do both of those strategies. As far as the new weapons are concerned, the QBZ and the QBU, I love both weapons. So the QBZ is probably my new favorite AR. I feel like the spray and the recoil is much easier to control than some guns. Maybe it's just the way that it works. Maybe it's just I'm more comfortable with that one. But you guys will have to let me know how you're liking the QBZ because I find it a lot of fun to use. I miss the SCAR, but it's definitely a good replacement because I'm getting a lot of kills with it and I'm picking it up pretty much every time that I see it. And for the QBU, if you're able to go prone with that thing, it's a laser beam. It has hardly any recoil at all, and it's really good. I like it much better than the Mini, which is what it's replacing on Sanhok, so I'm happy with both of those guns. I just wish that the QBZ was in every map because it's one of my new favorites. As far as the event pass is concerned, I didn't pay for the event pass, and I don't see myself paying for the event pass going forward, but it is pretty cool to have those challenges to shoot for. Something to log in every day to see what the new challenges are and to see if you can complete them. And then just leveling up, you do get some free items even if you don't pay for the $10 event pass. So it's a pretty good deal for anyone. And if you do want those extra cosmetic items, you can definitely pay $10, do those challenges, and try and unlock as much as possible. It's a good way for the game to create revenue and to make more money. I know a lot of people scoff at that, but video games do have to make money. And if they're not going to make it this way, they'll make you pay for DLC. They're not just going to give everything away for free. We would see things held back from the game just so that we'd have to pay more. This way, if you want to pay more for the cosmetics, you can. If you don't have to. With the DLC, if we had to all purchase Sanhok for $10, I'm guessing that a whole bunch of us would actually do that. But not every one of us that would have bought Sanhok for $10 is buying the event pass for $10 because we don't care that much about the cosmetics, like me. So this way, we get to save money while other players are spending more money. It doesn't give them any type of advantage. If anything, it makes them an easier target with some of the outfits that they have. So I think it's good for the game. It's kind of the way that games just are right now. Microtransactions are a thing, and they're going to be a thing going forward. Hopefully they're just like this, where they're cosmetic only and they're not intrusive to the gameplay itself. But overall, I'd have to say I'm very pleased with how the game plays and how Sanhok gives it a different feel. I think it's making me a better player overall, like I said. It's just making me get used to the gunfights. It's forcing me into the action, and I feel much more comfortable now with every engagement that I have. As always, I have links to my Twitter and my Discord below, so if you haven't followed me there, or if you haven't joined my Discord and you feel like getting in there and talking PUBG or teaming up with some other like-minded individuals, then definitely check it out. Remember to like the video if you found it useful, and subscribe to stay up to date on everything PUBG Xbox. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Until next time, I'll see you later.